who had left, and we were orphans, you know, and in a sense, because of the huge dimension of the challenges facing us, I still feel we are like children. But it doesn't matter, because the big plan, the Sri Krishna big plan is so wonderful. So you brought it here, where did you put it? The big plan of Sri Krishna is of that nature that it can overcome all difficulties. It is always capable of making a good use even of difficult situations. There's nothing bad which doesn't come for a good reason. And the awakening, spiritual awakening of India, oh, this is so important. This is one of the major tasks. The spiritual awakening to the full challenge to give the real nectar or the real treasure of the Vedic rishis to the world, and to rectify many of the misgivings people have due to the falsifications of the past of the Britishers, Muslims, or after them, those who were bought by their system, materialists who neglected to preserve the true information about the Vedic heritage, etc. So all this together, nowadays, it brings a situation in front of us where it is absolutely startling how many people are really interested of discovering the true history of India, the true Vedic history, and want to live a life according to the rishis, according to the true prescription given by these scriptures for our well-being. So we are in the middle of a very historical movement, and this historical movement of love is the very essence of our existence, the essence of life itself. And because life without bhakti, without Krishna, without everything, that kind of life is actually it is just, I think the Bhagavatam says it's the air which is coming from this pumping machine for the welder to keep the, how you call this, a bellow. It's just like the bellow of the blacksmith. He's also, but this is not producing anything tangible. So here, our breathing in the Holy Dham, our past in the Holy Dham is all very historic. And like Tripurari coming here, he's a resident of Vrindavan too, but he was very busy in bringing Vrindavan to other places. But again, he's here. Maybe he's to stay and get another place here, hopefully. And pray to Shri Gop. Did you ask Gopeshwar Mahadev for permission? No, that's not valid. But I have that clear indication by Srila Puri. Have to talk to him about it. Make a nice puja. Anyway, now I pass on the words to him, because an honorable acharya and friend and here with us these days. So you can also drink the nectar from his lips. Hare Krishna.
Paramadvaiti Maharaj ki jai. Jai. Om Jnanat Mirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Arjunanam Vita Bhujo Kanakabhajato Sankirtanaya Kapitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijabaro Yugadharma Palo De Jagat Priyakaro Karunavutaro Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gurudaya Pushpamanto Chitro Sandotyamono Dhyam Sada Paribhagnam Vishtadoham Vitaspadam Shivavirinchi Rutam Sharanyam Pratyatiham Pranatapala Prabhavipotam Vande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam Kratva Sudus Chajasurepsita Rajalakshmi Karya vachasa yadagaddananyam Mayamridam Vaikaipsitam Vagavad Vande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Harite Pranamami Harite Sri Gauri Vaishnava Guru Parampara ki Jai Harinam Prabhu ki Jai Sri Vrinda Kunj ki Jai Sri Pad Pakilok Paramadvaiti Maharaj ki Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Gaur Premanande Maharaj mentioned that today you will be going to the Rangaji temple.
Have you been inside?
Yes, I have. He also mentioned that things have changed over the years in Vrindavan. And he also mentioned a slogan, Ujjala Raga Patagaurava Bange Matala Sadhujana Vishayarange Matala Harijana Kirtanarange. So I'll speak a few minutes and try to weave these things together as they came to me. They emanated from the lotus mouth of Gurudev. The Rangaji temple is not far from here, and it's a South Indian temple, and a very big temple accordingly, because Narayan is very big, and of course by contrast Krishna is apparently very small, and Vrindavan as well. But appearance is not everything. There's more, that is to say, to be seen than what meets the eye. So a big temple in what appears to be a small place. A rural area, village. Maharaj also mentioned the Braj, which is famous, it means the dust of Vrindavan. It's a dusty place. And the big temple, it's a big temple and a big compound, really. Maybe it's the biggest in Vrindavan. Yes, it is, confirmed by Maharaj. So you'll go there today. And one of the things that's changed here in Vrindavan over the years, since Maharaj and I have been fortunate enough to come here, is that now you can enter there, because there were many, many years where the gates of the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, represented in the Rangaji temple, wouldn't allow us in. Only those who were born in India, even if they were Muslims, could enter if they wanted to, because you wouldn't be able to tell the difference merely by the color of their skin. But that's all changed now. The gates have been broken down by the force of the affection of the devotees of Radha and Govinda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from all over the world, who of course show their affection in many ways, but one of which is Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bange Matala Harijana Kirtana Rangi Vishaya Rangi. This is one of the ways in which they show their love, their affection. This is a little slogan that was written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, along with about 6 or 7 other verses in Bengali. This one was singled out by Pujapad Bhakti Rakshak Siddhadev Goswami Maharaj, and it's engraved in his temple in a prominent way, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat in Navadvip. The meaning of it is a little bit elusive, but it was written at the time when the deities in Calcutta were in a rented house, and the Bagh Bazar Mat, which was a famous marble temple, was being built. It might not sound like much to you, a marble temple, because there are so many marble temples and the floors are made out of marble here in many places. But in those days, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas were living in the dhams, Mayapur Dham, Vrindavan Dham, and these were very simple places. And since the time of the Goswamis, who had the patronage of the Hindu kings and so forth, and who built big temples, not many big temples had been built, and there wasn't a lot of organization to the Gaudiya Sampradaya for outreach and so forth. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was living in Mayapur, got the patronage and of wealthy devotees, and a marble temple was built. It was a big thing, built out of marbles, as they would say. A marble temple. Very opulent. And so at the time of the moving of the deities from the rented facility into the completed marble temple, Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Mat, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote these verses, and these verses were to be sung in kirtan. Pujala Raga Pata Gaurav Bange Matala Sadhu Jana Kirtana Range, etc. As the deities were taken from the rented facility into the marble palace. This is the context in which this slogan comes. And the meaning of it is a little elusive, and it has been pondered by different devotees over the years. And I'm one of them also who pondered the meaning, and of course I had the fortune of having the association, the Sikshana Seva of Pujapad Bhakti Rakshak Siddhadev Goswami Maharaj. And these shlokas had a certain meaning to him. That this shloka had a particular meaning to him. And by serving him, it's at least there's a possibility that you might be able to draw out what it meant to him. And this is what I've drawn out. It goes something like this. And this, again, in relation to the Vaikuntha temple, where you will be going today, within Vrindavan, where the gates have been opened, and again, by the force of devotees like yourselves, hearts expressed in love. And one of the ways in which we express our hearts and our love for Bhagwan is that whatever we have in our possession, we offer to him. Whatever we cherish, we offer to him. What is the best offering of food to Bhagwan? In one sense, it's that which you like the most. What do you like to eat the most? Within reason. Within edibles, I should say. Within that which is edible. What do you like the most? Then you will be able to offer that with the most love. You will think, this is the best thing I could prepare. That is most delicious. Let me offer that to him. The idea being, of course, is that with that in mind, more love will be in the offering, and this is what Bhagwan eats. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakya prayatati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmana. Ashnami prayatat. Ashnami. He eats a flower. People don't eat flowers, but he will eat the flower, he says, a leaf, a flower, if you offer with love. Like he ate the banana peels of Vidura's wife. You know the story? When Duryodhana came to Hastinapura to try to get Krishna's allegiance, when Krishna, I should say, came to Hastinapura on the invitation of Duryodhana, who won his allegiance, Duryodhana arranged a huge festival trumpets blowing and kettle drums beating and Brahmins chanting mantras and so forth, and a huge feast was cooked, and Krishna went and just passed it all, paid no attention to the opulent arrangements that had been made, and went to Vidura's house. Vidura was not of a high birth, and so you can imagine he didn't have a palace that he was living in Hastinapur. He wasn't home, but his wife was there, and his wife was very surprised to see Krishna in her house. And he said, "I'm hungry, feed me." And of course she didn't have time to prepare anything, and neither did she have much at hand, but there were some bananas, so she peeled the bananas, and in her ecstasy, she was a little confused, and she was offering the peel to Krishna and throwing the banana away. And when the word was heard around the town that Krishna had ignored the preparations of Duryodhana and gone to the house of Vidura, then Narada and Vidura went to Vidura's house, and Vidura said, "This is wonderful, that Krishna has come to my house." And that he's accepting this offering. And Narada said, it's more uncommon than that. He's eating the peels. He doesn't just accept the offering. Okay, you offered it, I accept it. I don't eat banana peels, but I'll accept the offering. No, because it was offered with such devotion, he reciprocates in kind. He actually was eating the banana peels. So anyway, to offer with your heart, this is the idea. To offer with love, this is to offer. Mother Teresa used to say, you know Mother Teresa? Catholic nun who spent a lot of time in Calcutta. She said that if it doesn't hurt, if there's no pinch, then you're not giving. Giving means to feel a pinch, means to make some sacrifice. So now we have many things in our heart. And we like many things. We like silk saris. Even the sannyasis like silk dhotis sometimes. We have attraction to many nice things, of many things of the world, of the Maya Shakti, the magic of Maya Shakti. It may have a little charm for us still. Not as much as Krishna holds charm for us, but still we're hanging on to some of the charm of the Maya Shakti. And so this charm for the opulence of the world that's in our heart, we should take this charm and offer this to Bhagwan. So in one of the ways in which we are giving our heart, so many devotees like yourselves coming to Vrindavan, that has caused the doors of Vaikuntha here to open, as I said, is that we're giving money. And that opened the doors. There may be money coming in. Of course, that's what the doorkeepers were thinking, but Bhagwan is recognizing, as I said, is that we're giving money. And that opened the doors. There may be money coming in. Of course, that's what the doorkeepers were thinking, but Bhagwan is recognizing the devotion. And so this is connected with this idea of Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bhange. Matala Harijana Vishaya Range. Vishaya Range or Kirtana Range. These two words here are interchangeable. This is very interesting because Vishaya means enjoyment. Material enjoyment. And Kirtan, Marsh mentioned, we know what Kirtan means. And we'll think it has much to do with giving up enjoyment, but really it has much to do with engaging all of the enjoying propensity of people in the world in such a way that it has connection with seva to Krishna. And that the charm then in our hearts for the world will be removed. So this sloka means something like this, that Pujala Ragapata, the path of Ragmarg, that is Vrindavan, the charm and love of Vrindavan. This path, this should be pujala, should be worshipped. Worship means we stand back and fold our hands. Some distance. In worship, there is some distance between the object of worship and the worshiper. In love, there is no difference. There is no distance and no difference between the object of love and the offerer of love. The two become one. Radha and Krishna are one from one angle. From another angle, they're different. But in love, two becomes one. The two, you and I, become we. It's a dynamic one. Not that both of us disappear, but we remain in a dynamic way. You and I become we. So in Ragmarg, this is love. Not worship, but love. We want to become love. We want to become a particular kind of love for Krishna. We want to be an embodiment of a particular kind of love, like Sakya Bhav, the friend of Krishna. They know no difference between Krishna's body and their body. This is pranay. If I touch Maharaj's body with my foot, he doesn't take any offense. Because we love one another. If you bump into somebody in the street just like this, they go, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me. Because there's no love. Love causes the identification to extend, you see. So in love, the cowards, they rest their feet on Krishna. They don't see any difference between his body and their body. And gopi love. These are the same thing. So different kinds of love, they're there. But all these types of love of Braj, they call the lover and the loved to make a union. And there's no more separation between worshipper and worshipped. Now this sloka says we should worship the Ragmarg, which means that in the beginning there's a distance between that Ragmarg and ourselves. And what is the distance between Ragmarg, between real Vrindavan and ourselves? What is the distance? The distance is all those things in our heart that we have attraction for. That is keeping a distance. You understand? So how to bridge the gap? The beginning is to bridge the gap by worship, and we will worship the Ragmarg. We will keep it, that means above our head. We will not cheapen that. We will know it is a high ideal, and we will know what is the distance we have to go, and that a good part of that distance is removing from our heart our attraction for every other thing in the world. And how will we do that? Remove that attraction, that charm for the world. How will we lose that charm? Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bange. How will Gaurava Bange come about? Gaurava means reverence. Means there's a distance between and a distinction between the worshipper and the worshipped. It means like this, with folded hands. How will we Bange? Bange means to break. Gaurava Bange. Break the distance. Break the gate. And go inside. Break down the gate of Vaikuntha and go inside and say to Narayan, hey Gopal, is that you? Why do you have 4 arms? And have everybody in Vaikuntha say, you can't say that here. Don't talk like that. That is Narayan. And then you pass on through Vaikuntha to the Braj. You have to pass through Vaikuntha, in one sense, to really enter into the Braj. You have to pass through worship to enter into love. And so Puja Ragapata Gaurava Bange, how will that be broken? Gaurava, how will it be broken? And how will the worship of by the worship of Ragmarg, that will come about? Puja Ragapata Gaurava Bange, Motola, Sadhujana, Vishaya Range. We are riding on the waves of Vishaya, material enjoyment. So take that charm for the material world, take what you love, and offer it to Bhagwan. throw it at him. They built the Baghbazar Math in Calcutta. Sridhar Maharaj said, we were going and begging money from wealthy people and everybody, poor people, and taking the money, as much money as we could get, and throwing it at stone, at marble, and at a stone statue as he appeared in the eyes of some people. And people think, these beggars, bhikshu, Tridandi bhikshu, these sannyasis, brahmacharis, brahmacharinis, they're going and begging and taking their money, but they're using it in a senseless way. All that good money, it could be used for feeding the poor. It could be used for opening a hospital. And so many good purposes. And they're just throwing it in this temple, building this marble edifice, and buying jewels for a statue. I mean, God has everything. What does he need the marbles for? What does he need gold for? Sridhar Maharaj said it was as if we were just wasting money in their eyes. Convinced them to give it, but then when they give it, we would spend it on this temple. And they would think, they were like throwing it in the river. Money has no value. That's a fact. And how much value you place on it now. It has no value. You cannot purchase any real estate in a land where there is no death with that money. But if you throw that money away, and where to throw it? Throw it at Krishna. Just throw it away. And people will see it like that. They're just throwing the money away. They're just throwing it away. Why don't they build a little smaller temple? No, he wants a bigger temple and a gold singhasan and golden doors and why? Just to show that all these things have no value in and of themselves. Gold has no value. Diamonds have no value. You hear the descriptions of sometimes of Golok. Oh, the Divyat Vrindananya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Vatnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Sila Govinda Devo Prastali Sevyamanu Smarami. Divyat Vrindananya Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasana. Ratna, a Singhasana made of jewels. And, all these descriptions, in one sense, are meant to tell us all these things. All this wealth, it has no value in and of itself. Give it to Krishna. Give up the charm for that. Vrindavan is like this. What does it mean? Every tree is a desire tree. Every cow is a kamadhenu. The stone, the dust is chintamani. You can get whatever you want from the dust, from the tree, from the cow. People think, let me go there. I can get whatever I want. But who lives there? How do they feel? Ami kichu China, ami kichu China. I don't want anything. I don't want anything. That's how they think. They don't want anything. When you don't want anything, you don't want anything, and you don't want anything in the context, you've arrived, I should say, at not wanting anything in the context of bhakti, of loving Krishna. Then you can enter there. This is the idea. So, this shloka means like this. You take whatever you have charm for in the world and just throw it at the feet of Krishna. And go get it from other people. Whatever is charming them, take it from them. Charm them enough to take it from them and just throw it at Krishna. As if you're just throwing it away, like a wealthy man just building this a marble bed for himself, a gold table. People will think you hear about a Hollywood star or a movie star or something that's spending millions of dollars on their wedding or something. You think, oh my gosh, Jesus, so wasting that money. We should waste money like this. This is what we were teaching, how to waste money. Just throw it at Krishna. And as this charm for the world leaves our heart, then we can understand, in the context of bhakti, we can understand we are bridging the gap the distance between ourselves and Bhagwan. And the doors to Vaikuntha will open and you can go in, as I said, and you can see Narayan and you can say, hey, Gopal, why do you look like that with 4 arms? In this form. What is this place? Vaikuntha. You will have no charm for Vaikuntha. What to speak of Devidam, the material world. Now you know why Pujala Ragapata. It is a high thing. No charm even for Vaikuntha. What to speak then how much the charm of the world must leave our heart to enter there. So today you get to go to Vaikuntha. They're opening the doors. You go inside, there's a huge compound. Try to see the worship there, the spirit of the people there. South India, Narasimha Maharaj once took me to a Sanskrit school, a Sanskrit scholar's house, where we had been invited, and he was a Ramanuja Bhakta, Vaikuntha Bhakta. And he was serving us prasad, very nice man, very much devotion, for Narayan. And so we were having Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, and taking prasad. And Sripad Narasimha Maharaj said to him, you know, Prabhu, whenever we talk about Krishna, you are always so happy. And he said, yes, Krishna, very nice, very nice. And then Maharaj said, but whenever we talk about Narayan, he said, that is another thing, he said. His face became, so that is another thing. I was so happy to see his bhava. Of course, it's not bhava I'm interested in, but to see any bhava that is wonderful. This is Vaikuntha. Not just anyone can come in here. The gates are guarded. Not just anyone. Where is your ID? Where is your passport? But see the wealth of Golok. What is the wealth of Golok? Goloker Premodhan Harinam Sankirtan. The gates of Vaikuntha are locked. You have to have a passport and a visa to get in. Passport means no material desire. Visa means with bhakti. The gates are locked. They see, let me check your passport. You have visa? All right, you can come in. But what is the difference? From Goloke Premodhan Harinam Sankirtan. The dhan, the prem, is the dhan, the wealth of Golok. And it's coming out to Devidam. It is so much love there in Golok. So much love that it can't be contained. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Krishna penetrates in his mind, contemplates the measure of Radha's love, he said he cannot contain himself. He cannot contain himself. He changes complexion and goes there, takes that love everywhere. He searches for that love everywhere. And that love is close to him, so it follows him everywhere. You understand? And so Golok is very generous. The doors are always open for the simple people simply taking Harinam. That's all. You don't, as Mara said, you don't have to learn so many rituals and they just chant Harinam. Harinam evu kevalam. Kalo nasteva 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 gatyadanyatha. Without any offense, chant Harinam. You can go to Vaikuntha and go beyond. So today you go get a sample of Vaikuntha. It's very inspiring to see.
And we are also going to Lalabab.
Excuse me, I never went there. But
you never went to Lalabab?
No.
No. Then we can take you.
If time permits. So anyway.
You never went to Lalabab?
I never went inside. Yeah, no, I did go inside once.
It's where the Sampradaya in Vrindavan became strong. Srila Prabhupada preached there, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur preached there. Bangsidas Babaji stayed in Lalababu's gardens.
Here's the man who had wealth and
threw it all on Krishna.
Built a huge temple for Krishna, with no concern where he would live, where he would stay. This should be the spirit. And Krishna will give you so much place to stay and make you inhabit of Vrindavan. You could be a homeless person in Vrindavan. It's possible. You can be a homeless person in Vrindavan and be more at home than by any other arrangement. Like Madhu Mangal, he's homeless. Purnamasi, practically they're homeless in Vrindavan. So because Madhu Mangal homeless, then he sleeps overnight at Krishna's house. Anyway. Shri Braj Parikrama ki jai, Kartik Mas ki jai, Shri Vrinda Kunj ki jai, Shri Bhakti-Lok Paramadvaiti Maharaj Gurudev ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, O Premanande.
Any questions? Come on, you guys. No questions.
Just I have a presentation like yesterday, a different one. Just 2 minutes by the blessings of Guru Maharaj and Tripurari Maharaj. They gave me the magic bag of the printing seva office of our family. To present to all of you this wonderful picture.
I see it.
We have this one, and then